I just like the idea of like them dropping a version of NBA 2K that was like really mid, and then everyone being like, "Yo, this sucks. Add guns," and then they're like, "I don't know what else to do." So LeBron James, you pick the Lakers. LeBron James has an AK. Steph, you better not miss. But
Steph better not miss is crazy. I feel that I finally got a car, so I'm on Aaron mode too. You know what I mean? I'm like, fucking ripping and running. Like I said, the last 48 hours been fast.
Tell us about the car. What's going on in the last 48 hours? We got to start now, so everything's in.
Yeah. I know. We're late, guys. If y'all haven't realized, but I'm gonna do the intro because we're late. Welcome to the Creme World Pod. You know what I'm saying? That's your host, Creme, co-host Xaii. You know what I'm saying? And we don't got nothing, no particular topics, but it's gonna be a good episode regardless.
I got stuff on the burner if we run dry, but you just had a birthday, you got a car. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, my financial aid for my school finally hit, and I was supposed to get $9,800, but I only got $8,000. I say only as if that's not a good portion, you know what I mean? But I got $8,000, and I immediately the day it hit, went to go get a car, and went up to this lot. So I got on Car Gurus and Carfax and all that stuff, and I found the car that I was going to get was a Ford Fusion, and I'm glad I didn't get it because the particular car that I was going to get on there had a couple issues, whatever. But
what were you looking for in a car?
Just anything under $4,000 or $5,000. Like, just try to keep it like it, honestly.
Just anything.
Yeah, it could have just been I could have been in a mystery van. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter. But just anything under $4,000 and I hit that mark. Got the Mitsubishi, which low key I've never thought of myself like as a hatchback SUV guy. But I don't think I'm going back to sedans. Like, that bitch feels nice. And
once you have the space, it's just nice to have the space.
Exactly.
You feel big.
Yeah. Like you were saying, like the space, just I'm not used to riding in cars like that or driving cars like that in the first place. And so it just like you said, it feels big. It's like I'm on the road, like, get over, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming through.
People gotta move for me type
shit. But it's been a fast. That was Friday?
One specific question.
Yeah.
Do you have auxiliary cable in your car at all?
Nah, Bluetooth. Okay. I mean, I have this.
Oh, yeah. I just want to know what the first song you played was, if there was one.
What was the first song I played? It was Fold by Xaii.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first one. I cannot fall.
That first song in the new car. It's like the beginning credits of the new season. You know what I mean?
Facts. But then, like, what's so funny is like I put my playlist on shuffle all the time, and it played Xaii, and then like the next 4 songs were Toby Lou, and I was like, Toby Lou make you feel good. I'm just in the car just singing this shit.
Bopping, yeah.
I was like, my phone knew the vibes. And so, but I was definitely immediately like me playing music is where I found my first issue with the car. It has a touchpad, like a radio thing or whatever, but half of the top half doesn't work. So I couldn't crank the bass. So that's gonna be the first thing that I get fixed on it because I gotta bass it up.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. You gotta knock.
Exactly. But
if people don't hear you coming, then
it don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, am I even in the car? Like, if you don't feel me coming down the street. But it's I know it's gonna be good because I could reset everything to the bass values. Cause whoever had the car first literally turned the bass down. I hate when people do that. It's like, who the fuck? Who are you? Like,
people listening to podcasts and shit in their car.
You still need bass,
but not for audio, but I feel you.
It's like you still need bass, bro. Like even if it's just a podcast, like if your voice makes my car bass, then hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
If you're listening to this shit in the car right now, turn the bass all the way up.
Crank the bass all the way up. Fuck is you talking about? But so I reset it back to the factory, like the 0 cents. And I could feel it when I turned it up. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to go super max volume to feel it. I could feel it when I turned it up. On certain songs, every song has a different EQ or whatever. So I know when I get it right, I'm like, this bitch gonna be beaten. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I'm super anticipating that. And there's other couple things that I got to get fixed in it. That are all electrical. It doesn't really seem to have any engine problems other than the fact that it's an older car and it's been driven 160,000 miles. Like it don't got nothing where it's like, oh, this bitch is falling apart or about to fall
Yeah.
off type shit. You know what I mean? And
I
so
mean, it is a car though. I've only owned. I don't even own a car. I share a car, but the thing about having a car is once you have it for a while, you're constantly just putting off buying new shit for it. I mean, you're already in
yeah,
it. You know what I mean? Once you buy
yeah.
a car, you hear a noise. You're like, we got 3 months on this noise.
Yeah, nah, facts. It's so funny too, because like I was just talking to my girl about it. Like now I'm like, even with like my fitness journey that I've been on, like the little minute things about these like gas, you know what I'm saying, for the car. But like with my fitness journey, I've been counting calories, you know what I mean? I've been counting carbs and shit. And it's like little things where it's like I become so like conscious and hyper vigilant of those things that like I don't know. It's just like I never like amazing that I've never thought about it before. And then when you finally like don't have to think about it, but then you do think about it, you see how like this is literally like an ever relevant thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like something that, like with calories in particular, like nobody really cares, but it's on everything for you to care.
About calories?
I don't think people.
Our
I
culture
mean,
is obsessed with calories.
but are people like are we counting them? Because I'm counting them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going in like, all
I
right,
mean, obviously not everyone is, but I think like I think even to a probably detrimental extent, our culture, just because anytime we discover anything about health, we obsess over it. If you look at the way we are about protein now, that's
yeah,
like pretty much how society was about calories like 10, 15 years ago, or it was
nah,
like everyone
facts,
who was like trying to be health conscious immediately was counting calories. Like my mom,
yeah,
about Weight Watchers?
yeah,
Yeah, growing up, my mom was on that. So it's not explicitly calorie counting, but they have these things called points.
yeah.
And so there's just
Basically the
been,
same thing.
yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. So like that, people have been conscious of that for a while. And I don't,
Yeah.
we could go off on a health tangent now or not, but I think it's like health specifically around like weight loss or like even getting in quote unquote good shape is such a individualized experience and like excuse me, what everyone needs to hit fitness goals are different. Like you can get 10 people and be like lose 10 pounds. It's going to be 10 different probably
Ways to
ways
do it.
for
Yeah.
like for those people to do it most effectively.
Nah,
So I
facts,
find
facts.
like things like that, not that I'm any sort of like health guru or anything, but I don't know, it's like the way our society has become so obsessed with analytics and data about every little thing. Like, I wouldn't say this pisses me off, but I find people who like track their sleep, I think that's the dumbest shit, honestly. Because people are like, my watch says I slept good last night. It's like, but how do you feel? Do you feel like you slept good last night? Yes or no? Because that's all that matters, right? And I don't
I
want to be
like,
like reductive or anything. Like if you count your sleep and get like, I'm sure there's an argument for it, but for me, it's like I don't know. Like how much information about our shelf do we really need?
well, I think for me, sorry. I know it's so unprofessional, but it's so good.
But
I'm
also to
hungry.
be eating during this part in particular is so. It's like,
I want
damn,
you
we're
to
talking
know
about food. Like,
54. Wait, no. 54 calories. Just in case
54
anybody was
calories.
wondering.
Okay, we were wondering.
Yeah,
Everyone was
yeah.
wondering.
Okay, anybody was wondering, 54. But I'm right there with you. I think that like, do you think that kind of like a chicken and egg thing? Do you think our like desire to like break down analytics on everything started before our access to it, like through technology, or do you think the technology was born out of our desire?
That's a good question. That's like probably a perfect chicken or egg thing because, I mean, I, it. I guess it depends in that instance on what you mean by technology because technology is technically like you know farming equipment at one point is technology. You know what I mean? And then the Industrial Revolution, blah blah. So if you mean technology by like post computer internet type shit that we're in now, the digital age, I'd say it probably predates that, though I don't have the like best physical evidence. I just feel like even how different is this than the desire of like cartographers 300 years ago to map the entire earth? You know what I
Right. Yeah.
mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think there's some part of us that wants to know everything in order to like move through the universe better. And I'm not like anti maps. I don't want to
Yeah.
be like, no, just live, bro. Why do you need a map? So I do understand there's like value, and like I would never tell if like a doctor was like taking your blood pressure and telling you how you should move based off your blood pressure. You know, I wouldn't be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's clearly parts that are important that have probably been present as long as we've had like any sort of desire to improve ourselves as a society. Like, as soon as medicine or general health was invented, or the concept of health as we know it came to be, I'm sure at that point people started being like, these certain things are healthier and these certain things aren't. Excuse me. You should count whatever, you know.
Yeah. In the same kind of space with the cartographers though, like let's take the ocean for example, right? Like they were just going and map out the land, but like they didn't have the technology to really get into the ocean like we do. Like they didn't have sonar and shit. So like, do you think that like we care so much, like the care of the ocean, like it was birthed out of the fact that like we can see the amount of poison we're putting into it, or rather that we're like, hey, we feel like we're putting a lot of poison into that. Let's figure out how much. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's one of the, I feel like it's one of those things where like technology was our technology is our means of getting to the point where we can know. But as soon as I feel like we get to the point with that where we want to know things that we didn't know we could know. Now that we know we can know them, you know what I mean? Then we become like hyper fixated on it.
Exhale the blunt if you're listening to this right now. This is your sign to exhale your blunt, because I don't know what the fuck this nigga just said. You said, so we didn't want to know until we knew we could know. That's something you said at one point.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. But because it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like it's like one of those,
no, until we understood the impact and the complexity of the ocean, there's probably less interest in it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, type deal where it's like we didn't know that the ocean, like the pressure of the ocean at some point was too deep to go into. And before we knew that, we didn't think about like, oh, well, what the fuck? It's past that point. You know what I mean? Now that we know that, it's like, well, a lot of science is literally dedicated to getting us deeper and deeper into the ocean. And at one point, we were cool with just be on top of the bitch and looking at the mountains and going like, I can see those mountains.
I'm gonna be real. I'm still cool right there. Them niggas going to the depths. Good luck. I'll be up here. If you find God, cool. I think you're gonna die though.
I've really wondered that, especially with the ocean. Like I know we're kind of getting off on it. We didn't have anywhere to go in the first place, but the ocean is something that's always fascinated me in that sense, because like there was a point in time, like the ocean hasn't changed other than us making it dirtier, but like what it actually is has never changed throughout the course of the planet. And it's like there was a time where we didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like there is literally boats and cannons and people down there. You know what I mean? Like we didn't give a fuck.
Why do you think people didn't give a fuck?
Because
you mean like about the health of the ocean?
Just the health.
Okay.
Yeah, more so the health, and like the pollution, like the trash to water ratio type deal. You know what I mean? Like, cause like it wasn't until like what is it, the 1960s or 70s that we started well, I imagine that there were environmentalists prior to that, right? But like, sure. I don't believe environmentalism really was huge on the radar of the planet up until like we could really, really see these environments that we're
we understood the damage we were doing.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's like, we don't know what we don't know, and we don't know that
it's impossible without the advances in science we have now to even look at the ozone. How could we even know that was a problem? And the same thing with the ocean, where it's like, 400 years ago they were like this whole big, but like there would be no way to know that we were destroying it. Like even if you had a big ass battle and there was like thousands of ships, you were like, but this is just one piece and maybe sharks will eat it or some shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like but now, I mean, I didn't say that it doesn't matter, but now microplastics are the new like environmentalist trend or craze or whatever, right? It's like we have had the issue of plastics have existed since we invented plastics or whatever, but like we didn't care about the impact of keeping up with the impact that they're having in the environment because we couldn't. We didn't have the technology to measure it, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
now that we can, it's like that's a lot of fucking plastic, bro. But now we care about how much plastic's in there, you know what I mean? And so
I
it's like,
think one thing I think is like we're saying we care and you and me care, and I think everyone listening to this cares. But I would be genuinely curious, like what percent of the globe actually. I mean, that's based on the global supply chain, and this is again we have nowhere to go. But like even so, let me finish that point. First of all, I was gonna say like I would love to know how many people on the planet would even purport to say they actually care about the health of the environment and saving the planet, because I would imagine it's a lower number than we'd like to think it is. Like you think about the fact that we are in one of the most well developed, in theory, most educated nations on the planet, and like in terms of size, up there as well. And like the more popular political party right now doesn't really care.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
you could argue that at least half the country probably doesn't really care,
yeah,
at least purports to. And then if you go globally, I'm not here to say like poor people don't care, but if people have like, if people are struggling in real life, I don't think like they don't have time. I'm imagining, I'm not trying to paint with too big of a brush, and I'm not trying to say all disenfranchised people don't care about the environment. I'm just saying from experience of knowing like disenfranchised people, like I have bigger fish to fry. Like I don't know how I'm going to survive. There's disease in my village, whatever. I'm not sure a ton of the quote unquote undeveloped world, global south, what have you, would say that. And
it's like,
I'm sorry.
I was like, I don't got a place to piss, so I can't care about the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Like
just like that.
Like the ocean's gonna outlive me for sure. So like,
Yeah.
but also it's so like me and you say we care, and I think in our hearts we believe we care, but also we exist in a way that I'm just saying I bet both of our carbon footprints aren't zero.
I just ordered.
They could be smaller.
I just ordered $400 of fast fashion like a couple weeks ago, so like I can own the fact that like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I own.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Even people who say they care, me and you, it's like if we look at our lives, and I mean this is even close to the level. I mean, it's not the same because we're not like we have most of our needs met, but we're still like you want to have nice clothes. We live in a society where if you want to have nice clothes but not pay a lot of money, you're like that's
Yeah.
the earth's paying for it essentially.
I actually learned like a lot that I brought that one up in particular because there's an essay that I had to read in my class to like for studying, and one of them was about fast fashion, and she was the main point she was making. She was like, low key, if rich people stopped going to thrift shops, we wouldn't have the fast fashion so much because then poor people would have their consignment shops back. Like you wouldn't have to go in to a thrift shop with $300 to get a couple outfits. You normally like that. Used to be a time where you could go if you had a couple $100, you balling in the thrift shop, you balling in the Goodwill. You know what I mean? But it's like that doesn't exist anymore because now the new trend is like retro or vintage, and like rich people like to look poor for whatever reason. Like
For sure.
they've made
Because
that
poor
kind
people have style, and
because we
you
have
know what
to.
I mean?
Yeah, because we have to, and so it's they have taken a lot of the spots that were once reserved. Consignment shops are exclusively that, but a lot of consignment shops are local and like are generally owned by people of impoverished communities because that's their way of getting their money. And like it's like a cycle. Like they're feeding back into the community by feeding off of the community in a way and providing a space for the community to have a certain appearance or class or whatever the fuck that they wouldn't be able to go get just outright at the store. You know what I mean? But then the people who can go get them outright at the store come to these shops, these consignment, these spaces where this is like a very insular, like circular, like a very like limited insular circulation of like economy, and then like that kind of forces another like that community still needs that avenue of like access to decent clothing for relatively cheap, and now fast fashion is born. You know what I mean? And not even that it's born, it explodes. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh well, shit, I can't go spend I can't go get 4 pieces of clothing for $25 at the consignment shop anymore, but I can do it on TN or Shemu. Or not TN, Temu or Shein.
Did you combine them?
Yeah. But yeah, I can go to those places and get it. But then those places, the cost of purchasing from those places is basically industrialized slave labor, like poisoning the environment. You know what I mean? But it's like I want to look nice. You know what I mean? Like I can't help that. Like I live in a space where like I have to look nice to literally enter certain buildings. You know what I mean? Like, and if I can get in there for $5, and at the cost of that $5 is somebody struggling, not struggling, but like I don't know. The humanity aspect of it is kind of where it's like it really, really gets hard to kind of separate yourself from. But I feel like the environmental aspect is so out of sight, out of mind that it's easier to kind of like when you make that decision to enter that, to make to purchase those things, it's easier to kind of be like, well, that's there. I get it, but I don't feel the impact of that as much. I always feel like somewhat self-conscious. Hell, even when I shop anywhere, like if it's a major name brand and I know you got like sweatshops and shit, it don't stop me. I ain't gonna act like it just stopped me, but I feel it when I purchase these things. I'm like, damn, somebody somewhere is literally grinding their nails away to feed their family just to give me cool feet. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things where it's like the technology, like we're bringing all that together. I didn't know about that. I didn't know to care about that until it was brought to my attention. And it wouldn't have been brought to my attention without the technology of it. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if the girl who wrote the essay didn't have the data to back up the amount of damage that it was doing to the environment, I don't know if she would have cared. And I don't know if her essay didn't have that aspect, I don't know if her essay would have resonated with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do wonder, like, who are we ahead of the technology, or is it ahead of us? Like,
what do you mean by ahead? What do you mean?
Like, are we is there ever a space where I care about that impact of my purchases on the environment, or anybody for that matter, without the technology being able to expose me to that impact?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
is there any way to know that something is bad without basically having to go through channels that are also bad? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Not even knowing,
maybe not channels, but just like without the data of it all.
Yeah, without the data of it all. Like if you can't show me via data that this is having a negative impact, and let's say like I can see it though, right? Like let's say that I can see that this working environment at this like sweatshop is fucking brutal and gruesome. But if nobody provides me the data of the actual living conditions of them and then what they're actually going through, do I care? Does it resonate with me? You know what I mean? And so it's like, I just don't know. I don't know. I feel like we have. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, the thing is, to me, is data. Even data isn't objective, if that makes sense. Like any piece of data, if you want to look at it from the element of like any big group or lobby or corporation that has an agenda can pay for a group of scientists, research centers, whatever, to basically generate data that validates whatever their point is. Or you look at it from the aspect of like, people can look at the global warming data we have now and be like, yes, this is bad. But actually, if you zoom out, the data is like the environment kind of naturally gets hotter and colder every couple hundred. You know what I mean? So even data, especially in the age we're talking about, or we're in now, where there's literally infinite data about every single thing possible. And like I said, you could find, you could Google 10 pieces of evidence why X is good and 10 pieces of evidence why X is bad, and probably find verifiable data, to point you either way. So I guess all that to say, like, I don't think it is, at least from my view, the data that really affects people as much as it is. Like for me, I don't really do fast fashion. Not to say I'm better than it. I wear the same thing most of the time, and I buy pants from the thrift store, and I wear tank tops for the most part. And tangent, I I don't know. From a style standpoint, this is a total tangent. So remember, we're talking about data if we want to come back. But I think for me, like, and it's not, maybe it's like a leftist thing and maybe it's like an individuality thing. I am really against wearing any branded clothing now. Like I just hate the idea. Like I was at the theme park yesterday and just like a little girl was wearing like a Dr. Pepper t-shirt, right? And in my head I'm just like, you're just for free? Just that's your shirt? Is it ad? You know what I mean?
You
Like
paid to advertise?
you paid to advertise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like part of me is like, you know, the reason like I think it's really stupid when people get like I saw someone recently with like a David Bowie tattoo, and I don't want to say this, and not a lot of people will talk about this, but David Bowie also definitely touched kids. And I didn't want to say this to that person, but I was like, the reason I'll never get a tattoo of any human is because niggas is fucked up, and I don't know, especially niggas I don't know. Like if you want to get a tattoo of your baby, yeah, your kid or your mom, cool. But niggas I don't know, and that's the same thing I feel about brands. Like like. Not that I don't own, I'd be lying if I said I didn't own any Nike, Adidas, whatever. I have a pair of Air Force Ones, and I already have the next pair of Air Force Ones in my car for the day these die. So I'm not, I have a pair waiting. So I'm not better than anyone, and I'm not perfectly living this out. But just like walking, like even a Balenci shirt, is it really a flex that you're advertising? You think just because you're wearing a Balenci shirt, guy on the subway, I'm gonna be like, well, that guy must be rich. He is wearing a Balenci. You know what I mean? I just it's
what's so interesting,
confusing thing for me. That's all I was gonna say. It's really like I get status symbols, but just like a Ferrari T-shirt, you're a dude, not a car. Shut up.
So do you remember, we're older, do you remember growing up and hearing the rhetoric that like rich people don't wear labels? Only like poor people who want to show that they are like on the access now wear labels.
Do you know that's like there's like a whole that's like the kind of the story of like the Burberry brand at one point where they basically, you know, the Burberry fabric, if people don't know, was really popular. Then poor people started wearing it. This might not be Burberry. This might be another one. But basically Burberry was like, there's too many poor people wearing it. And that made rich people stop buying it. So they basically, all the expensive stuff, the Burberry, you can't even see the fucking pattern. It's like the jacket would be like a brown jacket with the Burberry on the inside. And it became like known, if you're wearing something with Burberry on the outside, you're poor. And if you're wearing, you know what I mean? So.
No, yeah, I believe that about Burberry because and you're probably right about Burberry because my point was about to be that like I noticed that brands like that have switched to like labels, like they've switched to like labeling their stuff where it's like there's like now like I saw a Burberry wallet that said Burberry, like a Burberry bag, like it had the plaid on it. It was real. It was in a designer mall, right? And so it was like. It was a Burberry wallet with the Burberry pattern, and then it had Burberry down in like a blue navy strip through the middle of it. And I was like, when did they start doing that? You know what I mean? But then the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh yeah, Balenciaga, like literally all over Balenciaga it says Balenciaga or Christian Dior. Like the entire pattern of Christian Dior is literally Dior. You know what I mean? Like it's like so like when did that become the thing like to do? You know what I mean? And bringing. This is bringing us kind of off the tangent and back to data. A point that you made earlier about like the advertising thing, it brought me back to like video games because like PlayStation is about to stop making physical copies of video games like CDs. And basically,
how do you feel about it? I heard about that. How do you feel?
As a gamer, angry. Like legitimately, when I read it, I was like holding my phone, like, oh, like how dare they? But
and it's odd because can we just speak on this for a second before you do your thing? It's odd because I'm not a gamer anymore, and in the age we live in, like no one buys DVDs anymore. Like physical media, almost
it's
like
dead.
You don't have CD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was a thing. It was like I saw that and I was like, yeah. But then I saw gamers' reactions, and gamers' reactions was like, we burning this bitch down.
Oh, we ride at dawn, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about? The moment you officialize that we ride at dawn, nigga, the Sony towers is coming down all across the country, like all across the world. Like we taking y'all out. But so it's one of those things too where it's like their logic behind it is from a capitalist standpoint sound. You know what I mean? But like once you start factoring in, and maybe I don't know what it is in me that like really like brought this to my attention, but it's like we've been helping them make their games, paying them to help them make their games for the last like really since Fortnite came out, because Fortnite is still not an alpha release, like which means it's not done. The game
Mhm.
itself is not completely finished, but we've been playing it for a decade now or
Yeah, I was
whatever. You know
gonna
what I mean?
say, yeah.
And so they've made billions and billions of dollars, but this game is not finished, and that's why updates are still an option because then like,
What
oh yeah,
is there? So is that just gonna be forever, or is there like an idea that they finish it
no,
eventually?
so they initially, what nobody really remembers, when Fortnite came out, there was two versions of it. There was the Fortnite Save the World part of it, and like that was a finish, that was a game, like there was a whole like
Like a storyline?
yeah, like a storyline, a system to it, and there was like it was basically a tower defense game, like a third person tower defense game. You get to go out into the Fortnite world and clear out the maps and then find loot and treasure and materials and then bring those back to your base and build up your base and build up all these different traps and turrets and stuff to fight off these horde of zombies. And they like the horde of zombies would attack every night. And so you had X amount of expeditions into the Fortnite world to go get your materials. And like let's say you did 10. Then when I think it was you get 10 expeditions and then you come back, you have to get all the materials that you need, the blueprints and shit that you need, and then come back to your base and build these things. And then on the 10th day, it's an onslaught of zombies, and if your base isn't strong enough and they destroy your shit, you don't lose. You just start all the way over. You lose everything. You know what I'm saying? Your character gets, it was the same concept of like, oh, you respawn or whatever. Like you still did that in the Save the World version, but every time you respawn, your base was reset. And so you had to, that was the game, right? But then they took pieces of that and put it into the battle royale format. They kept the materials, they kept the building aspect of it, they kept the respawn aspect of it. As far as the people dropping from the buildings, the with the drop bus or whatever the fuck it's called. So they switched it over to that, and that shit exploded. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was like people are like, oh, I love this, and so people stopped playing Save the World. When I got Fortnite, I bought Fortnite. Like I bought the Save the World version, and I didn't care about the battle royale. Like when I first played, I'm like, this is cool as fuck to me. You know what I mean? And so because I'm a strategy nerd, I was like, I
That's
love the
yeah,
whole.
that's like the most old head, but also like hipster thing you could say. Like I
Yeah,
wasn't even into battle
I
royale.
really wasn't, and it wasn't until I didn't get into it though until my oldest daughter's mom's her little brother, he's the one who put me on it. He was like, you like, cause I bought Save the World, and then he had been playing the Battle Royale mode and didn't know about Save the World. And then he was like, fuck is you playing? I'm like, nigga, I'm playing Fortnite. He's like, nigga, that's not Fortnite. I'm like, what you're playing is a Fortnite, nigga. I don't know what, I
If
don't
you
know
want to be
what you're talking
technical,
about.
yeah.
This is Fortnite, nigga. And so, but yeah, he put me on the Battle Royale thing, and just like everybody else, I got hooked. You know what I mean? I was like, it is the gamer in me. It was I feel like exhilarating is an over too much energy word. But it was like it pumped me
I
up. I was
feel
like,
like
oh yeah,
exhilarating is probably what you're describing.
I was like,
As a
yeah,
gamer,
yeah.
like the gamer part of you is
Yeah. I was
exhilarated.
like, this is fucking, oh, this is awesome. I get one shot at this. I get to show you that I'm better than you. I get to take your one shot away of victory, nigga. It's me and
Yeah.
the last 10 niggas. We the best in the lobby. Ho ass nigga, what are you talking about? And then I'm finna cook they sorry ass too, and I'm finna be number one. That was a cool little like a
Yeah,
little.
like when that shit dropped, I'm not gonna say like grown men, but the way like other mid 20-year-olds were obsessed with it in terms of like, hey bro, tell the hoes not to come over. Like we gonna be up till 5 a.m. doing battle royale. It was like
Facts.
I saw niggas
Facts.
where I was like, hey yo, I thought we were had move. Like, are we doing shit tonight, yo? And they're like,
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're like, what are you talking about? The club, nigga, the Fortnite club. What are you talking about? We
yeah, it's
doing
like,
it.
bro,
Like,
we're 23. What do you mean we're staying home to play video games? But that's how it really had niggas.
yeah, that's really how it was. But to bring it all together, so Fortnite Save the World was the completed game, and then because the battle royale was so popular, and they saw that people were willing to spend money on things like cosmetics and little features that didn't make you any better, the whole idea of like
Travis Scott skin.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like the whole like because I feel like the thing about it was it was the perfect cheat code to like trick gamers because it's like buying anything in a video like pay to win games don't survive because everybody can't pay to win. So it's like I can be genuinely better than you and you could buy the fucking gun that literally blows off the whole map, and like what can I do if I can't afford that gun? And what all it turns into is everybody who can't afford that gun, that's all they're using. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing in the game. So pay to win models don't work. But if I can pay to look cooler than you, and you can still be better than me. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna spend my money. Like it was the perfect.
You may have killed me, but you don't got these emotes.
On me, you may have clapped me, but you don't got the Travis Scott skin. Your motherfucking character don't got the forces on. Like you killed me, but I'm fly, ho ass nigga. I'm dead and fly.
Yeah, I got the Balenci to pull it back.
No, fact. But I think that that was a perfect cheat code, and so it did the Grand Theft Auto thing where like it allowed them to implement like real time events into the game where it's like, oh yeah, this cultural moment happened in real life. It just popped up in my game. I feel like Grand Theft Auto did that before updates. Grand Theft Auto was a thing. It was like, all right, let's take whatever crazy cultural viral moment has happened in the last X amount of years that we've been developing this game and make sure it's in the game. So when everybody plays it and sees it, they're like, oh yeah, that's a reference to the Super Bowl that was, you know what I'm saying? Like they get those references. And Fortnite kind of took that model.
You gotta throw in the I have a dream speech to get the
You know what I'm saying? So it's
that's the craziest shit that no one, not no one cared about, but just like, I guess the King family, they be telling niggas when they don't want people playing with their name, image, likeness.
Yeah,
so they must
have.
So Fortnite cut the King family a check.
Yeah, no facts. And so it's like when they were able to take, they can take real time events and put them in the game, or real life events and put them in the game in real time. Like something could happen like tomorrow, and then on the day after, it could be already implemented in the next game update. And that's not possible if the game is finished on a CD. Like it's not possible for me to come in and update your software when it's not in my control anymore. You know what I'm saying? So to allow myself the space to constantly update the software, I need to be able to keep this game in under development phase. You know what I mean? And so like if I can do that and y'all are still gonna pay me for the things that I develop into the game before the game is completely finished. No, like for that nobody wants for that to finish. Like nobody wants it to be complete, because once it's complete, there are no more updates. There are no more changes.
Does it I guess like, is the idea of a complete game kind of over now?
Never. So like I mean, for a certain generation, for sure.
It seems like I've also heard a lot about how they'll basically release a lot of games half baked, and then like over the next couple of years, like make them decent.
No, yeah, that's like some of the most recent really, really good games came out like that. Like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was trash when it dropped. Not even trash, but like what they promised us wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and they didn't account for the effect. Like No Man's Sky was legitimately an exploration game, but they didn't account for the fact that people want to kill people. That's literally what they didn't account for. They were like, there was no combat in the game. There was no versus, no competition. And they were like, oh, people were mad. People were like, I can't shoot anybody, bro. All I can do is harvest rocks. I want to shoot this nigga with my harvester. Why can't I
have a meeting with Rockstar Games real quick?
Exactly. And so that they didn't account for the fact that people want to be able to battle each other. And that was the only thing that literally, if you play the game now, there's a bunch of new ships, a bunch of new materials, and a bunch of new planets. But the only real major gameplay difference is I can kill you. Like I can run into you on the random planet, which I could have before, but all we could have done was share materials. But now I can kill you and take what you got.
But it sounds like the developers of the game, like that's not really what they were going for.
They weren't. Their whole
that's crazy though. Just to be like, what if we make like a cool, like exploring geography game, and people are like, this is tight. Where's the Mac 12?
Facts though. It's so funny because I remember like me personally. I don't know. I'm not like a pacifist in any way. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one of those like, oh, we're all peace and love type of guys. But like when No Man's Sky was like put out, I was like, that's beautiful, bro. Like objectively, that's really, really cool and beautiful. Because the game, the whole thing of it was literally one of the most visually pleasing games that ever been made. And like especially during that generation, I think it came out at the beginning of PS4, and it has developed into the new generations of games. But when it came out on PS4, it was beautiful. You know what I mean? We'd never seen a game that could render so much game. You know what I mean? Like
for people who don't know, what is like the basic premise of the game?
So No Man's Sky is basically Star Wars without combat. You basically are a lone space pilot or whatever. You flying through the galaxies, but your ultimate goal is to find a material that you can take to your home planet and like bring it back to life. Because it's like effectively dying because of lack of materials and lack of resources. You know what I mean? And like, all right, You're gonna go out, you're gonna find the material, the resource that we need type deal, and you're gonna bring it back and build. Like they didn't have base building when the game first dropped. You were just exploring. You were just going in space to go see all these different planets because you left your planet because y'all were running out of materials and resources.
The objective was just to
Explore,
get resources. But yeah, but just to walk around and pick up like rare earth mineral or rare space mineral for your planet.
Exactly. They were like, and so, but the cool thing about it was that when they were advertising, they're like, the game is gonna drop with 1,000 planets, and it did. It dropped with like not even 1,000 planets. The game had like a random generator that could pump out 1,000 different planets depending on what your numbers landed on. You know what I mean? So every time you turn the game on, you would never see the same planet twice unless you went back to it. You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh shit, I'm on planet 500 now, and there's 500 other versions that I haven't seen yet. And it takes a long time to get to that point. You know what I mean? And it's like, that was just cool. That was like, all gamers were like, no way. That like no game has ever been that big. Like, no
I never have to go outside ever again.
And that was like, I mean, you got the neckbeards out there who never will go outside ever again for like games like World of Warcraft. But for people like me, I was never really like games had never really bought me in like that. Like there was nothing that ever made me be like, oh, I could play this forever. But like No Man's Sky gave me that I could play this forever feeling. When I loved it when I played it. Everybody else was mad. I'm like, what are we mad about? This is what are we
Y'all don't like these rocks, nigga?
Bro, I was like, do you see this fucking tree though? Like you tweak it, but like look at me. Like what was really cool about it to me was the actual visual effect of the harvesting. Cause like you could like chop a tree down in half, and instead of it like chopping and falling, you were like extracting the tree into your gun. I thought that shit was, I would literally just go around the planet and just pick up random rocks and just watch them like break. That shit was so cool, bro. This was so cool. I was like, this is fire. And people were like, oh, this game isn't what they promised us. I'm like, I don't know how you niggas is playing it, but I got what I came for. So like, but to bring it all back, games like No Man's Sky laid the foundation for the desire of constantly we need constant development of the game as we playing it. And No Man's Sky, their issue that they ran into was that they put out a finished game. They put out like the game from their standpoint was like, this is the game. And players weren't satisfied. So they're like, all right, we're going to take it back. We're going to take it back and rebuild it from the ground up. And they did. They rebuilt it from the ground up. They put base building in it, new planets, new RNG, new materials, and new weapons. And when they put out weapons, I was like, weapons? I'm shooting the planet? And they were like, nah, you get to shoot other players. I'm like, I didn't want to do that.
That's
like,
not why I'm here, bro.
I didn't want to do that.
We're on Animal Planet right now.
Bro. Everybody I was one of the lone voices, you know what I mean? Like everybody was like, hell yeah, let me catch you slipping. Let me catch you slipping. Let me catch you at the wrong tree, nigga. It's up. And I'm like, damn, bro, I wanted to go to the water planet that had only one island because the one island was a giant tree. Like that was cool to me. I didn't need to be able to knock you off the tree. Like that, you know what I mean? Like I didn't need to be able to
No one needed to die for me to experience this.
Exactly. But no, it didn't. People weren't satisfied. So then when they were forced to bring their game back, and I think that kind of scared a lot of developers from making a final game, because like if your gamers are so fickle and low-key dickheads. It's like if your fan base if you can't satisfy your fan base with a whole finished product, then why would I ever give you a finished product when I can satisfy you in pieces? I can give you a product that I can break into you in pieces, and I can make the next couple pieces. I can listen to your feedback and then be like, oh, okay, I heard that you weren't happy about this particular gun. Here's this new gun that like changes the way that changes the game meta. It changes the way the game is played because of y'all were upset about that last gun. Here's a new update, you know what I mean? And so even Call of Duty bought into, Call of Duty used to put out their games. Like that was the game, you know what I mean? And now they're kind of like, yeah, the next Call of Duty may or may not be a game. Like it may just be, you know what I mean? Like it may or may not be a finished product. We don't know yet. And so,
do you think
go ahead.
Do you think, because I could see two schools of thought about it. First, I just like the idea of like them dropping a version of NBA 2K that was like really mid, and then everyone being like, yo, this sucks, add guns, and then they're like, I don't know what else to do. So LeBron James, you pick the Lakers, LeBron James has an AK. Steph, you better not miss. But
Steph better not miss is crazy.
I could see two schools of thought where it's like, there is something, I don't know about beautiful as much as it is like practical about like waiting for feedback and using feedback to guide you into making like the most consumer friendly product, like that just on its head seems to make sense. Like why potentially waste resources making something people won't like that from a business, but also from a practicality standpoint, that makes sense. But also it feels like it's losing, like I see much more, I also see the argument of like, one thing a lot of like people, fans, the audience, the world at large, we don't know what we want. We don't know what's going to move us. We can say we want our favorite artists in any field to do a certain thing, but what really like makes us go crazy is when they take a left turn that's unexpected and do something, really radical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like a Yeezus or whatever other example of like famous artists going super left, but people being like, this was actually artistically much more interesting and like good ultimately.
I Am Music, or no, would it be? I was gonna go Playboy Cardi. Would it be Whole Lot of?
It's Whole Lot of Red, probably.
It's Whole Lot of Red. Okay.
Yeah. But like a Whole Lot of Red, where it's like you have Dial It, which to me a perfect album, but then you're like, yeah, I'm off the melodic shit. Let me lean into this thing that's a lot more grating. But people are gonna eventually, like, again, a perfect example. A Whole Lot of Red drops. Everyone, me included, were like, this is kind of mid. 6 months later, it's like the biggest cultural phenomena. Yeah.
So do we not remember with a whole lot? Do we not remember when Xaii still with a Whole Lot of Red drop?
Xaii was bullish immediately, but you also we're not gonna.
What? What?
I don't want to make this a Playboy Cardi. I was enjoying our video game chat. But no. So it's like, yeah. Do you think? Yeah. Just what do you think about that? Like, is it? I don't know. I guess like the option A, where we're like taking more feedback and whatever, is more practical but less artistically interesting. And also, do you ever get a radical Grand Theft Auto style game if one company isn't willing to just say, fuck it, we're making a game fully like this, risking people not liking it, but also risking, becoming as big as Playboy Cardi is now?
And so I think that is a really good question. I think, like, from a gamer, the option A is a lie. Because, like, you're never going to be satisfied no matter how much update they give you. You're going to always, and no matter what art, no matter what media you consume, you're going to always want more or better. There's just no way for that to happen. Everybody's version of more and better is different, right? Like, let's take Whole Lot of Red, for example. Like, there are people who don't want to hear I Am Music because they just wanted another Whole Lot of Red. You know what I'm saying? But there are some people who, like, I'm glad that I got I Am Music. You know what I mean? I was like, Whole Lot of Red was cool, but like, it wasn't me. It wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? But I Am Music is my shit, right? And me personally, back in the same analogy with Playboy, like, I loved Whole Lot of Red. I still kind of do. I actually don't like it as much as I used to anymore after going back and listening to it. Like, because
now other people like it, and you're like, I got to move off that.
I am kind of like that. I will acknowledge that.
Like, too many of y'all over there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, y'all, why y'all over here, bro? I had my motherfucking park bitch by myself, and now it's 20 niggas on this bitch. Now I got to get up and go across the street. Why did you?
Now it's 20 musty 17-year-olds over here.
But I do believe that, like, you will just never be satisfied. There's no amount of updating you can do off of only, like, if you promise me a product, or you give me a product that on initial reception I may not like, or like the masses may not like, at some point you're just giving me the same product with new songs. Like, you're just giving me a Whole Lot of Red with like a Whole Lot of Red Deluxe 2, Whole Lot of Red Deluxe 3. At some point I'm gonna just be like, bro, I was cool with the first one. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need a Whole Lot of Red 5 type shit. You know what I mean? But so it's a trick. It's a trick where it's like, you're trying to tell me that, oh, I know you won't ever be satisfied, but I'm gonna make sure you're satisfied. It's like, you can't. Like you were saying, like, we don't know what we want. We don't know what we actually like. Like, we don't know. You don't have to appease us. Just do you, and then we'll like it or we won't like it. Take the risk. And that's the only way to really survive in platforms of media. Like, even with music, podcasts, video games, anything. Like, just do it. Like, you can't please everybody. Like, you'll break yourself trying to trying to please everybody. You'll end up losing the game. Cause like I can't touch Fortnite no more, bro. Like I
Yeah.
used to be locked in on it because of all the new updates. I'm like, what the fuck are we playing now? Niggas is dancing. Niggas is fucking Homer Simpson's running around fighting Star Wars characters with lightsabers. Like, what the fuck are we playing now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
It
so
feels
it's like
the most hyper capitalist version of a game possible, frankly.
exactly. And so like the cutback of that is if and the real problem that actually created that we didn't see because of all the glitz and glams of the updates was that I don't own this game. I own a license to play this game. I own a license to access to your product before it's released. It's not released, so it's not mine. I've never actually bought it from you. I've only bought pieces of it. And you can take every single one of those pieces back individually because I didn't buy them outright. They're coding to a bigger product that I don't own. So like
That's crazy. Wow. That is actually crazy to think about how much money you could spend on all this stuff, and then you don't even own the game.
You don't even own the game. They can that's the issue with the whole. That's why everybody's so up in arms about the Sony digital thing, because it's like, so basically what you're telling us is we'll never own a game again, and you're just telling us that like you'll never own a product ever again. Just so you know, everything that's on these digital platforms, like Sony could come on today and be like, yeah, that downloaded version you had of Grand Theft Auto that you had for 5 years doesn't work. Like because we say it doesn't work anymore because you don't have a CD that you can put in there that's going to work. We just say it doesn't work and it don't work. You know what I mean? And so, but that's what the whole problem with that is. Cause like now we're paying for licensing. I'm not paying you for product. I'm paying you for licensing that you can revoke legally at any given time for any reason. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
it's the Spotify-fication basically of video games.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And so it's weird. You know what I mean? It's like, as from a gamer standpoint, like, as somebody who I grew up with PlayStation 2. I grew up with fucking Nintendo 64. Like I grew up in a time where you put the game out and it failed or it didn't. There was no online updates. That shit didn't exist. And so I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind I don't mind a bad game. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind spending money on a game and be like, damn, kind of a bad game. But then I you know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind that experience. It's like I've bought plenty of bad games. There were games that I bought that were bad that I don't remember the name of, but I'm like, man, that was low-key fun. Like, that was a fun. That was a fun, bad experience. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I think that there is a novelty on that in anything, in any form of media. Where it's like, yeah, I paid for that. It was kind of mid, but looking back, I'm glad that I did it. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that
your favorite artist's worst album is kind of, you look back at that like, wow, I can't believe, because at one point you gassed yourself up that you liked it. You know what I mean? Or at least like first listen, first play, you were like, okay, yeah. And then about halfway through, you were like,
No, fact. And so it's I don't know. It's just it puts us in a weird paradigm of like product owning, because like right now it's video games and music, right? But what is it next? What is the next thing that
it's everything in the entertainment space. Like people, like the same thing you were saying about growing up and the experience of buying, and you know, I've seen other people talk about like the experience of like giving your friend games or trading games and all that shit. Like I definitely used to do, whereas like these two are kind of not busted, but like I don't really play these anymore. You got a couple you don't really play anymore. Let me get Home Run Derby 07 and The Simpsons Hit and Run from you, and I'll give you some Kirby game and fucking Mario Lacrosse.
Yeah, some shit. You know what I mean? But that's you just did some callbacks. That's how I know you.
For sure. Yeah. I was PlayStation 2. I was getting busy. I was getting absolutely busy.
There's some callbacks. But
yeah, that same like, I don't know. It's like what I'm saying, what I said earlier when I was like, I'm not surprised, because it's like, yeah, we've had this and are continuing to have this existential crisis about all of physical media disappearing, and we're not going to have DVD, like, you know, you're not going to have your collection of DVD. Like, I guess we do to an extent, but like our children won't have a collection of DVDs or won't even know that physical media ever existed. And I'm not trying to be contrarian about this, and I'm obviously not like, yeah, fuck physical media, because there's certainly, like, one of my favorite bands is a band, the 1975. They put out an album and it was like 11 songs, and I thought all the songs were great, and then they just took one of the songs because the lead singer was like, I don't like the song anymore, but it was a good song, and now I just can't listen to the song. And it's like, if I would have bought the CD, so it's like, I understand, and I also feel not victimized but affected by this, but also I don't know. I guess it's because, like, I guess it is maybe worse in video games because you still can buy CDs, just people don't, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I still, for the most part, obviously,
Yeah.
like a lot of mixtapes, digital specific releases, you still can, I think, find a DVD of it. I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah.
So I guess, what do you think makes this, like, specifically painful for gamers, or do you think it's just like the same existential dread we're feeling about all of physical media disappearing?
I think specifically for gamers, I think the thing that you cannot replace is letting your little brother play, or giving a game to your kid, or like passing on a console to your sibling or whatever, and then whoever passing this on and being like, hey, this is coming with these 50 games and these 2 controllers. Like, here you go. Like,
But are the games, I'm trying to understand, like, so if you buy the game on your account, can you download it to your Xbox, or are you like streaming the game?
essentially you're streaming it. Essentially, like, yeah, you can like, how to say this, you can download, like, let's say, let's take Apple Music for right, like, every iPhone has the software built into it to run Apple Music, but you have to pay for the access to Apple Music. So, like, you're constantly streaming Apple Music even though you have it on your device. It's on there already. The video games are the same way. Like, the programming for the game exists in the game already. That's why games are built. Some games are exclusive to certain systems because they have the specific software to run the game the way they want to run it. But you're never actually, unless you have the CD, you're never actually, like, playing your downloaded game. You're just streaming you're allowing your console or whatever to stream the game via licensing. So it's like CD, like PlayStation 2 didn't have that. Like, there was, like, every game that PlayStation 2 had to play, like, you had to have the CD. Like, even if the software in the game was built to run it, there was no downloading the software and installing it into your PlayStation. Like, you were in fact streaming it from the disc. You know what I mean? Like, it was still a form of streaming, but not like we see it today. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's the same concept, but except for digitally. And it's weird because it's like, yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like I can't, like, let's take Netflix for example, right? Like, you can only have Netflix in so many homes, you know what I mean? But like you, like, on a video game, like, I can buy I go on my PlayStation. I have like 40 games that I've actually bought on my PlayStation profile, but I don't play nothing but like maybe 10 of them. You know what I mean? Like, and for the other 30 that I have, that, like, if I could put my profile on somebody else's PlayStation, they can do that. But to play my game, they have to log in under my profile, and they, like, well, I don't know. I think it might be a little different now. I think I can allow my PlayStation to play, like, you can play my profile games on any PlayStation, even if it's not my home system. But there's only so many that can do that. You know what I mean? And it's like, I can't share my games. I can't share games that I don't play anymore with my friends. You know what I mean? It's like like, let's say I bought a game that you thought was super fire and you never got to play it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got it, bro. I don't care about that bitch. Like, have at it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that physically with you anymore. I have to find a way to get my shit on your system, you know what I mean? And then make sure that you have enough memory or whatever on your system to do it, you know what I mean? And it's like, when it was CDs, we didn't have to worry about memories and systems. All you had to worry about was a memory card and could you save your progress? You know what I mean? Like, that was the concern. But now with video games, it's kind of like, I can't, where is the share factor? Because video games are a shared experience.
For sure.
Like, the best ones are shared experiences, but like, even the best single player games had to have a multiplayer mode. There was a secret multiplayer mode in Grand Theft Auto, like Grand Theft Auto 3. You could find a way to, like, do a certain mission or a certain cheat code, and you could bring in another player and plug in another controller, right? Like, even they realized that, like, this game is built around a single player experience, but you need to add that extra element to it. You know what I mean? Like, let's go ahead
Games
and
are
find
communal. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, let's find a way to add the communal aspect of it. And so, like, you're stripping away that, but at the same time, even on the individual experience, you're stripping away my ability to just have this, like, for it to be mine before I even share it with anybody else. Like, I can't even get to that point because it ain't mine. You know what I mean? Like, let's say let's take the next Grand Theft Auto, for example. Right? Like, let's say Grand Theft Auto doesn't come out until after 2008, which with what Sony said, I believe is going to be the case.
Do you think we'll ever get the next Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah. So Grand Theft Auto knows that its life, like it knows that its lifespan only exists within a certain generation, because like everybody who cares about Grand Theft Auto is either older the age of, I want to say 17 or 16.
Yeah, they probably, whatever the generation is after Z, which I think is Alpha. I don't know if they have any cultural cachet with Alpha now.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't like, they know at some point they gotta do something to get it back, because there are a lot of good games that are replicating the open world freedom aspect of it that are
like, everybody stole their sauce.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, they got to figure out a way to get back on top, and so they have to do something soon. But my thing is, if they're smart and greedy like we know they are, I think they're going to wait until 2028 when Sony officially stops putting out CDs. Because no matter what nobody says, Nintendo is a classic. Like Nintendo is never going to break its format. No, I think Nintendo's going like. It's been going more digital too, but Nintendo's never going to break its format because Nintendo just can't fail, bro. Like it just can't. Like there is not a single person in the world who has seen media who doesn't know who the fuck Mario is.
Nah, they could put out a new Mario Kart every 6 months and it would go triple platinum.
It would go fucking crazy. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean? It would go crazy. And so it's like, I don't think that Nintendo could ever fail. But when Nintendo starts talking like that, that's when we need to really get worried for like physical media in general. Like that's when the existential crisis needs to go past video games, and like people who are already feeling the way about music, when Nintendo starts talking like that, really get scared. Like that's when y'all should get like when Nintendo's like, hey man, you know them little hard drives and them little cartridges we've been selling our entire careers, we're done with that. We're just that. There's not going to be another. We're done. Whoa, why? What do you mean? I can't give my Switch and my Mario Kart to my friend. Like what are you talking about? Like how you mean I can't share my Mario Kart with my kids? Like that's scary. Like I don't know. I'm a gamer, so all this shit's scary.
Yeah,
but like it's just like that's alarming, and I think that it's like capitalism, bro. Like it's literally eating away at like pleasure. It's like not even pleasure in the sense where it's like these are like small, minute things that I don't think that we thought about. Going back to what we were saying earlier, we don't know that we care about these things until we know that they exist. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of those things like you don't really think about how much you valued having the CD unless you're a gamer or a music aficionado until you can't have it anymore. You know what I mean? Like the people who didn't care like you probably still don't care, but didn't know to care until they realized the person who really, really cares is losing that thing. Like, so maybe I should care. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's going to affect me in some way. And it's like, and bringing it all back to the data thing, like that is only happening because they're able to see the data of how much people are spending money on games that aren't finished. So like they would have never thought about that if Fortnite wasn't as successful as it was, if Apex wasn't as successful as it was, if Call of Duty Warzone wasn't as successful as it was. Like this would not be a conversation. If people hadn't already invested billions of dollars into unfinished games, we wouldn't even be having this problem.
You think so? About the disc thing in particular, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if like, so basically the only advantage that they get from this is to keep a game in development forever. Because like otherwise, if you're going to finish a game, why not put it on a CD? Like what benefit do you get from not allowing it to be on CD? The only benefit you get is that either A, I can stop you from playing it whenever I want to, and I would only stop you from playing it whenever I want to because A, it stopped making me money, or B, because I want more money from you. Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. I want you to pay me more to get back into it. And so it's but people Fortnite did it. Fortnite did this. Fortnite was like take Save the World, for example, right? Like I bought Save the World and they shut it down. And I was hurt. I was like, I want to get back into my game. And they were like, yeah, nah, that's over with, bro. That's over with. And so I just kind of had...
You seen how other shit's popping? You see how other shit's popping? It's just you over here, by the way. You're the only one that sent us an email, bro.
Yeah, no, facts. They're like, yeah, that shit's dead, bro. That's just dead. I'm sorry. Like you were saying, like it's just you in the house. Like we're shutting the house down. Like it's... The club, you're the only person in the club is closed. Like, and so it's like, but yeah, like it's like things like that where I think that, like, yeah, we don't think about it. We don't think about how much like those things like matter until they're gone. And then going back to the capitalist side of things, like if I was Fortnite, like you said, like it's just you over here, bro. Like it's just you. Like I'm not tripping. That it's just
Yeah.
you. You're not getting in the club. Everybody else is in our new club across the street. Like we're making billions of dollars every single day. Every time you send us an email, we made $10 billion more in between your emails. So like,
Every letter you typed.
we made billions and billions of dollars in the time it took you to write this. So like we don't give a fuck, bro. And so yeah, like they know how much money they make on the back end. So like they're incentivized to find a way to make that last forever. Because at some point, I used to say, maybe I'm wrong. I've been saying this for like 3 or 4 years. I'm like, at some point, Fortnite is going to die because their game is never finished. They just keep doing new shit, and it's no longer the Fortnite that it used to be. But I'm wrong because the only thing that dies are people. Like a generation ages out, and then they're like, yeah, you niggas gone. Your little brother and his friends, they here. They replace you.
And this is the game we like also. Like
Yeah,
this is
you know
what
what
we
I'm
were
saying?
raised on.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we were raised on. So all that shit you talking about, old nigga, all them CD. All right, old nigga, like, ooh, CDs. Like, yeah, like, but yeah, like our kids and their friends aren't gonna give a fuck about anything that this episode is gonna be irrelevant to them. They're like, the fuck are they talking about?
For sure.
CDs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know, man. It's scary, bro, because I feel like. Is this a desire? Going back to what I said in the beginning, like, was this an intention or a goal that they had in mind before the technology showed that this is viable? Like, because I genuinely don't believe this would even be a conversation because certain consoles, like Nintendo, for example, or brands rather, like Nintendo, were built on the devices that they provided, the hardware that they provided. You know what I mean? That's why like games would have unique disc. Like nobody remembers the first Xbox console. Like it didn't have circle disc, it had oval disc. Like you could see it in. Yes, if you like go back and look at an old Xbox and hold it next to a PlayStation CD, they're not the same shape. It's an oval. It's
How
not
the fucking oval spin?
It's not what I'm saying. It's not like an oval, but it's not as perfectly rounded off like a PlayStation CD is. And so it's like I didn't notice until somebody else pointed out with me. They like Final Fantasy is my Sony game and Halo is my Xbox game, right? And so my homie was like, he let me borrow Halo, and I tried to put it into my Final Fantasy case because my Final Fantasy was in my PlayStation, and I had just got an Xbox and I didn't have Halo, and so he let me borrow it. And like the borrow process, like you got to protect the CD. I brought over my empty case because the one game that I had that I was playing all the time was Final Fantasy, and it's in my game. So the case, so I bring the case over, putting the game in the case, and it won't fucking stick. I'm like, why won't this bitch fucking stick? And he's like, oh, they're not the same size, bro. I'm like, what do you mean? They're both. They optically they look both like circles, but he's like, no, look at it closely. And I'm like, oh, it is like on certain parts of it is overlaying the actual frame for the CD. I didn't realize that, but like certain games were built like that is those little unique intricacies is what built it. You know what I mean? Like when GameCube came out and GameCube had the little fucking
tiny
small
ass
CD
discs.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so like that was a GameCube thing though. You know what I mean? Like that was like. It was not looking back on it. It wasn't really cool, but it was.
Well, Nintendo always just has to be different. You know what I mean? It's like Sony and Xbox are doing this. Dreamcast even is doing this. How do we distinguish ourselves as Nintendo?
And so, like, that's what I'm saying. When Nintendo decides to go all digital, that's when the red flags need to really go up. You know what I mean? That's when we need to batten down the hatches and storm at dawn because it's like,
when there's no more little yellow Pokemon cartridges for I don't know. I mean, they're not doing cartridges anymore, but like a defining part of my video game experience as a child was all the different color Pokemon cartridges for all the different games that
and
matched.
They named them the color, bro.
Yeah, that was hard. That was super hard. If you had the holographic Game Boy, like the blue kind of shiny nigga with like the sapphire in it. That shit looked hard.
It was crispy.
That shit looked hard, yeah.
I remember when I had my Game Boy Advance, I had the green one. I had the see-through green one, and I had Pokemon Emerald. It was a look.
Pokemon Emerald. That's the GOAT Pokemon to me. I love that game.
Yes. That's the first one you can with the running shoe. That's the first one you can start chopping.
Yeah, because it's like it's not as new as the newer ones where you're like, this is like a whole ass game now, but it's like not as rudimentary as like the very first ones that were like black and white and like
exactly. That was the first one where like the character wasn't looking like Ash and shit, where he had like his own style and the female kid. Wasn't it the first one that allowed you to use a female character?
It was the first. I don't know. Maybe I think it was the first one with the bike, right?
Yeah, it was the first one with the bike.
I don't know if there was duels in that one. Was that the first one where you could duel two Pokemon?
Tag duels came out in the next generation.
Okay.
Because it was Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire, and then after that it was Diamond and Pearl, right? I think.
I'm not sure.
I'm a Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was Diamond and Pearl, and Diamond and Pearl introduced tag battles, if I'm not mistaken. It also introduced tag battles because it introduced multi-types. It introduced the Pokemon that had 2 types and shit. So like that was an element of the tag battle, right? You would do a tag battle and be like, oh, I got these 2 types to counter these other 2 types, and it's like, oh, actually, I got 4 types over here, nigga. Why you think? And so, but yeah, that was like, yeah. Going back to what you were saying, like. The hardware of it all is what really, not really made it, but it was an aspect of your appeal to it, right? And so it's like
it was part of the experience of the game. You know what I mean? It was like not, yeah.
I don't know if that really ever applied to Sony and Xbox. When like again, they did a little unique thing. You know what I mean? Like they did a unique thing, but like you can't see a CD spinning in the game. You don't really, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what it looks like as it's spinning. So like yeah, they didn't really. Though I'll take that back, bro. There were times where I would just pop my PlayStation open, like the top of the PlayStation open, and PlayStation 1, and watch that bitch spin, like the color, like, oh, this bitch is pretty. Yeah. And so it's like
do that with the fucking Spyro. R.I.P. Spyro.
Yeah, mine was Final Fantasy 7 because like I would pop that's a game that got me into video games. So like
okay, we gotta wrap up a little bit. So finish this out, and then we gotta wrap.
Anyways, that was the game that got me into video games. And the cool thing about it to me, to bring it all back, was I only got to play that game because my older cousin had the entire Final Fantasy collection. And he would play 7 a lot. And I was like, oh, like that, it looks pretty. You know what I mean? Like, can I play it? And he was like, you can't play mine, but when I'm done with it, it's yours. And he beat it and kept his word. He gave me his PlayStation 1 and he gave me Final Fantasy 7. And I was the first video game I ever owned and ever played. I was hooked. I would never have that experience if it was digitally only. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if he couldn't just give me those things, I wouldn't have had that experience. And so like now we're losing that. And we're losing that, bringing it back to the data. We're losing that because of data analytics. And we need to get our head out of our asses and say the numbers don't matter that much. Unless we're talking about the environment. If we're not talking about the environment, the numbers don't matter that much.
Sure. Yeah, we were very different children because I remember the first Final Fantasy I rented from Blockbuster Video and I got that John home and I'm like, why am I doing so much reading, bro? Is this a book? This is a fucking book,
though.
bro.
It's a novel in action.
I'm coming from like Madden and shit. Like I'm playing Spyro and like Crash Bandicoot and like a lot of shout out my nigga Crash Bandicoot. But like I'm playing a lot of like the platformers too. But there wasn't a ton of reading. But you open up Final Fantasy and you gotta click X like 30 times before you can even have an option to do anything.
Yeah. So this is true.
No, not to neg it, but I was 8 and I was like, this is.
You know what's so crazy? I think my first time playing Final Fantasy 7, I was 4, right? And then like I couldn't read. I learned a lot of words from Final Fantasy, bro. Like I was like, what is I remember I used to call cure, like cure, like what is cure? Like you know what I mean? Like, oh no, like when I found out that it means like to heal things, I'm like, oh, that's why it does it in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
shout out Final Fantasy and helping you with your literacy.
maybe if it was a more popular game, we'd have a higher adult literacy rate. I'm just saying.
We did unintentionally a video game episode, low key. I'm not mad at it. I guess it was like I was like, what happened? The Sony thing was actually big news though.
Yeah, it was.
So you came prepared. Thank you. I gotta run. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
I love you too. I hope you guys fucking go buy CDs after this. Go buy some
Go
CDs.
buy as many CDs as you
Go
can.
to your GameStop and bring your GameStop back to life. All right. It's your fault that GameStop died. It's your fault that Radio Shack died. It's your fault that Best Buy is dying. I own it, motherfuckers. Own it. Because these are my havens. You have taken my havens away from me because you fucking spineless bastards don't want to buy hardware. Like, I'm hurt. That's
All right.
right.
All right, bro. Peace.
I love you too.